This is the tutorial to make your schedule using Google Sheets or Excel. Um, First thing you do is you open up a new sheet, and it will look pretty much like this, except for I wrote some notes here. It's going to come out just with all these cells here, and you're going to pick a place. It doesn't have to be in the corner because you can adjust that later, where you're going to start your schedule. And the way the schedule is going to look is it's going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday across the top, and along the side it'll have periods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So along the way I'll show you some ways that Excel or Google Sheets makes it easy for you to fill things in like this that might be a little bit tedious when you fill it in on paper. For example, if I want to write period 1, period 2, period 3 along the side, Excel is pretty smart, or Google Sheets is pretty smart. You can highlight them by pressing your left mouse button down and highlighting the 3, and then going to the very corner where this little point is, you can rest your mouse what do you call it, icon or whatever, on top of this little right bottom corner, and it turns into a cross. You can press down on the mouse at this point and drag it down. The Excel or Google Sheets saw the pattern that you were creating, and it continues to fill in that pattern just by pressing down on the corner and dragging down. So it can fill out, it can continue numerical lists, or this is like part numeric, part letter. It still figured it out, right? So I filled out the period names just by filling in 2 or 3 and then extending them down using this cross, okay? You need to fill in at least sufficient for it to be able to figure out what you wanted to do, okay? Okay, and then across the top I want to put the days of the week, so I put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then here I'm going to fill in the classes I have. So I'm just going to write down that the first 2 periods are A block, the third period is B, and so on. Okay, and then Tuesday is going to be H block, G, B, B, A, C, D, something like that. Wednesday is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Thursday is E, E, F, G, G, H, A, B. And Friday is D, D, C, F, F, E, G, H. Okay, oops, it completed those. I don't want it to be Friday. I want it to be a small f. Okay. All right, so I have completed a generic schedule, and I don't have my class names in here. And then I'm going to show you how you can do a substitute command and replace all the blocks that are a certain kind of class for you with your class name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of them, and then I'm going to do a data. No, I'm going to do a edit, and I'm going to do find and replace. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to replace all my C's with Math 11. Okay, so I'll do a replace all, and you can see that it has replaced all my C's with Math 11. Okay, now I'm going to replace all my E's with Math Studies 12. So I do replace all on that. And now I have all my E's replaced with Math Studies 12. And you can see that the Math Studies 12s got cut off because the columns were a little bit too narrow. So how can I make the columns a little bit wider? Well, you probably know that you can make the column wider by putting your mouse between the 2 columns and moving it to the right, okay? But maybe you didn't know that if you highlight all the columns you want to make a certain width, and then put the the mouse in between the two columns and double click, it will make them all the precisely minimum amount to make it so that everything shows up. Now, if you want to make everything the same size, you can put it between the two with everything highlighted like that, and you can pull it out to whatever length, and it'll make every column the same width. Okay? And so I'm almost done here. I only have 2 more classes to do, but you get the idea. So I'm going to do edit, I'm going to do find and replace, and then I'm going to replace now H with Math 10. Oops. Replace all. And oh man, look, it did something very bad. Look at that. It took all the H's that I had in here, including the ones that were math, and it replaced them with Math 10. And that's not what I wanted. So how do I undo that? I go up here and I press the undo. Okay? And now I need to be a lot more clever about how I do the substitution. So this time the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put small h here, and then I say it has to match the case also. So it doesn't, if it's a capital H, it's not going to match it. And so now it was okay, right? So that's pretty much my schedule. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look nice, and one of the ways I'm going to make it look nice is I'm going to put a grid on top of it. So I go over here to borders, and then I use the all sides grid option there. Looking at my notes here, I didn't really go through the different ways you could do data entry. If you would like to do entry in columns, then normally what you do is you type in the numbers and hit enter after each one. That makes the cursor go down every time you do a new data entry. If you want to go sideways across, then usually you would use tab. So you do 1 tab, 2 tab, 3 tab, and that'll go to the right. And if you want to like go kind of randomly, then you just use the arrow key. So like let's say that I'm going to do 1 here, and then I want to go to the right and do 2. I hit the right arrow. I type 2, and now maybe I want to go up, so I hit the up arrow. I type 3, and then I want to go left, and I hit the left arrow, and I type 4. I hit enter. So there's different ways of typing in the numbers and navigating around without using your mouse. It's kind of a pain to use your mouse all the time. You can use the arrow keys and tab and enter depending on which way you want to go. Okay? And that's it for this task.